Camel Shoppy. Jeremy phone?
Yeah. Sure.
You sound like your iPhone.
No.
No, you sound good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, your computer. Yeah, you're.
Like 5 frames per second, but we can live with that.
Yeah.
Like nothing I've never seen in real life, so.
He's all back. And let's,
You made changes, you might have to close and reopen here.
No, I think we're good. We're streaming. It's just, if it's laggy, that's fine. But if you can hear me, it's good, and it's recording good, so.
Just with the hot fix?
It's our bread and butter. Yeah, and I'm still bumping around there, so I didn't do anything with that. Close with that. I don't know what their support is. I wonder if it's something I could reach out to them with.
Fix my free issue.
I don't pay for this software.
Fix my shit.
I'd probably be willing to use it a lot. It's not a big deal.
What you'll have to do is go into somebody else's OBS and break theirs and make it a nationwide problem.
Oh, someone with followers.
No, just get more than like 5 people and then they'll be like, this shit's happening.
It's everywhere. It's rampant.
Yeah. It's spreading. It started at Richard's computer.
Then I'll lose my computer. They have to confiscate it to find something.
Sure, yeah.
I hit. There we go. Let's see. It's like I hit that a while ago. There we go.
Oh, let me make sure I'm. I was not. That would not have been good.
No.
Let's go, Falcons, yeah.
First round pick.
First round pick. I'm going to go to the games and just start wearing their first round pick shirt and sign. That way they know I support their first round pick ways.
That's all it says.
Yeah, first round pick, let's go.
Here's what I'm actually pulling for. Whoever the number 1 pick is.
We're not going to get it right now. It's going to be Jacksonville, so.
Yeah, but they could trade down.
I don't know, man. Their offensive line sucks, so they probably need the first round picks.
That's someone James Ross.
That's the way I roll.
Let's see.
I went in the settings and changed it to giant settings.
It's like the scene just took over you. If you look at the feed, it's just you. Oh, that's good stuff. Alright, you're Oracle.
Sure. Renee's here.
In the flush.
Nope. In the chat and on the YouTube chat.
Is this 178? Did you bump it up?
Yeah, I believe I did.
Okay, 178. Real quick. I'm not adding you. I'm just adding you.
Lord. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Halo Bones, 177. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 178 of the NOFODcast. We are not outside food or drink. The Southeast's premier video game podcast. If there was a draft for podcasts, we would be the number 1 pick. It would be us. We would be trying to trade up to take us.
And we're doing it on every sports level we can. So.
Wait a minute, didn't Sony already welcome us to the
We did.
family?
We actually already did draft day. We were the number 1 draft day. It's pretty good. Well done, Brand. I knew your skills would come through on that one. As it's gonna come up later in the show, but as or is it? I don't know. As
Well, we mentioned it like,
yeah.
what was it, 2 months ago when Sony of Japan kind of flubbed up and posted it early.
Yeah, Blue Point Games is part of PlayStation now. There was it PlayStation Japan? Somebody that put in their tweet. Welcome to the family.
It was the acquisition of Housemark.
No, Blue Point.
They posted both Housemark and Blue Point at the same time.
Oh, but each guy on Instagram, we have actually officially been added to the PlayStation family, so. Force all been a chain over and all that stuff, so. Congrats, guys. In actual news, with Activision Blizzard Summit, Resident Evil 4 VR gets a release date. The app that allows you to do more with your Xbox. Go Bananas in this theme park expansion. Who could that be? And we have your October games with Gold and PlayStation Plus titles. Richard Burton, you've heard the other guys already. They are Brent McKee.
Yes, sir. What's up?
Touch you on the second.
Hello, I'm here, standing by.
Recently off of an anime binge.
Yes, one episode.
A binge of one. A binge of one, a binge nonetheless.
The one that when you called, I hung up on you. I was like,
Did
no.
you fully and completely consume it?
I had like 3 minutes left, and I watched the last 3 minutes.
Then that was a binge. You're good. It qualifies.
Sure. Episode of 1.
The binge of one. I've binged things that felt like they were one, and I've watched one thing that felt like it was a binge. So.
That would be pretty much any Shakespeare film that lasted 4 hours.
About right.
Yeah. Shakespeare in Love was pretty good. I watched that a couple years back and was surprised. I didn't expect that to be good.
I've never seen the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet, and I heard that was really, really excellent.
Still haven't seen that one yet.
You hadn't seen that?
Brand's calling us out.
Oh, my Lord. What are y'all doing?
Living our lives, not watching that movie.
It's so fucking good. How have you not seen it?
Okay, you're a fan then?
It's good. It's very good.
It's hard for me to watch regular Romeo and Juliet, and you expect me to watch like a modernized version of it, so.
You will not be disappointed.
High praise from Brand.
Apparently you're disappointed that I'm not disappointed that you're disappointed that we haven't watched it.
Disappointed in both of us.
Yeah.
He binging his disappointment onto us both.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get into the news. Activision Blizzard strikes $18 million settlement with U.S. employment watchdog. This comes from The Verge. It will also upgrade its training and reporting procedures. That's the footnote. We talked about it, I guess it's been a couple weeks, but there were all sorts of, the state of California was actually filing suit.
Yeah.
Based on accusations and things that have gone on at Activision Blizzard. We talked about some of them in depth. They are horrible and grotesque. The news follows an EEOC suit filed Monday in California court that was based on a 3-year investigation, including cooperation from the game's publisher. As part of the settlement, Activision Blizzard will create an $18 million fund to compensate employees who claim damages. That doesn't acknowledge any wrongdoing. Activision, yeah. We will continue to be diligent in our commitment to the elimination of harassment and discrimination in the workplace. We thank the EEOC for its constructive engagement as we work to fulfill our commitments to eradicate inappropriate conduct in the workplace, said Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick. Any unclaimed funds will go toward nonprofit organizations that focus on advancing women in the video game and tech sectors while promoting awareness of gender equality, or toward future diversity and inclusion investment. So this is, like we said, this is still no acknowledgement. This is not a, I think many people have left already. It's like a legal advisor or somebody. I know head of HR was already gone. So this $18 million will help some people, but it is not an acknowledgement of any wrongdoing and any improvement on the situation, it seems. So I think this is one of many updates that we'll have on this in the coming months from now.
Yeah, probably.
Resident Evil is coming to Oculus Quest 2, and we're all getting a free copy. We just have to use our Facebook account.
Yes. That means none of it be played.
This comes from Gamatsu.
It would still equate to me not playing the game, so I guess we could do that.
We'll be a Game Club game next month, and then I'll not play this one also.
Fair enough.
Gamatsu reports Resident Evil 4 VR launches October 21st, exclusively for Oculus Quest 2. Is there a price on it? Armature Studios making that port. That's interesting.
Yeah. What irritates me the most is the second sentence of this paragraph after via Oculus Store.
And that would be
Step into the shoes. Go ahead.
Step into the shoes of Special Agent Leon S. Kennedy on his mission to rescue the U.S. President's daughter, which you successfully did on, like, what, GameCube, PS4, PS2. You did it on all of those.
Yeah.
No,
We definitive.
Sure.
The President's daughter, who sets our save across all those platforms, who has been kidnapped by mysterious cults. I see no issues with this sentence, sir.
I let the cult take her every time, so because I can never get through the time. I was like, you know what? Fine, just have it. And it's like game over. And I'm like, all right, cool. I guess
You
I'll
have to
play
finish
this
the
again.
fight on Oculus.
Sure, yeah. Me throwing up on Resident Evil 7. You expect me to do this in FOV on this shit?
Yeah, it looks intense, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Every time I see him, I'm like,
This
I'm
looks
like,
pretty cool though. I mean, they've reworked a bunch of the puzzles and stuff as well. But just the experience, I think I'm down.
It was already such an
if I had an Oculus. Hopefully this will be one of the titles they bring to PSVR 2.
Well, it ends up on everything, so.
It's Capcom, so it'll be on everything at some point. So.
It does look good. It looks like a different game though. Like it's got a much wider field of view.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to get a cardboard box cut out and put it on the Switch somehow. So.
Switch Cloud VR.
It's Capcom we're talking about. Yeah.
I want it on the Wii U.
That would be appropriate.
Sure, let's do that. Yeah.
Just hold the tablet up to your face. Resident Evil 4 VR promises new and unique virtual reality interactions that put you in the shoes of Leon S. Kennedy, now entirely in first person.
Boo.
As you save the President's daughter, like Cesar did. Immersive virtual reality environments that pull you into the mysterious world of Resident Evil 4. And stunning high-resolution graphics rebuilt for virtual reality.
So I can see the President's daughter getting stolen away in higher resolution. In front of my face.
As you track with your head.
As they take her, I'm like, nah, go ahead and take her. It's fine. I'm okay. It's fine. I'll just find a way out of this castle at this point. I don't need to
and Cesar's just shaking his head with the Oculus. I go,
not this time.
See ya.
Never appear in any other game, so there's no point in doing this.
I'll focus on the other main objectives.
I don't create a timeline collapse like I could do if we killed Ocelot. So.
That's a valid point. Killing Ocelot will end the game for you.
Yep.
Move your solid 3. Alright, who wants to take this next one? Xbox gets a new Edge browser. This was the app. Well done, Brent.
I guess, I'll take on this one. So, Microsoft got its Edge browser, which, will let you access things like Stadia, Discord, all sorts of...
There's a real site I'll let you access. You're ignoring it. So
I'm talking about it in a second.
Wait, which one?
The Chromium version of Edge is now available to all existing Xbox One, Series, S and X consoles. Capabilities allow owners to stream Google Stadia, access Discord. Yeah, like I said, it's a little odd to use it with your controller, but it is enabled with keyboard and mouse. So that makes it a little easier to use.
Any keyboards like that where or on-screen keyboards where you don't actually have like a touch interface or an actual keyboard is always tough to move around, in my opinion. I like the PS4 touchpad thing. I always end up flying around on that and clicking stuff like it's a mouse.
They also, say that you can use it to access your Steam PC games, things like that. But honestly, the biggest thing is any kind of emulation that runs off Java, or you can access HTML.
HTML 5.0 has everything in there.
Yeah.
Flash Player. That's why Flash Player went away.
Oh, Flash.
And you can play all sorts of fun games if you know where to look. Obviously, you can't download or play download games to your Xbox and play them through an emulator on there. They don't have the ability to access files through the web browser, but you can just do a quick something search and find exactly what you want to play. Like I believe both me and Richard tried Mario 64, playing through the Edge browser on our Xbox Series systems, and it played like ass.
It was not great,
but we could do it.
Bomb. I got that bomb thing.
Yeah, it was choppy. Sometimes there was input lag. Other times it was pretty smooth, but the audio was the worst thing. I would say it was very choppy.
You could get to it because if you missed that button press to like move to full window, you were like zooming your cursor around inside that window. I had that issue for like 10 minutes just trying to get it up and running.
Yeah. It's interesting, and I mean they'll probably improve upon it
or block it.
or block it. It's a possibility. But I mean, with the way Xbox is right now, they didn't care about people using developer mode.
Yeah.
Because right now people are playing all sorts of things in developer mode, PS1 games, up to like GameCube right now through the and you can up-res them to 4K, and so
it's a polymaker
and I mean
for the newer generation systems.
The biggest thing with that is that if you do developer mode, you can't access your retail games, but this allows you to play whatever you want to, and then if you want to emulate something else, you just hop into Edge, which is nice. But like we said, it it's probably going to take a little bit of time before it gets super smoothed out.
But I think if enough people are hitting that up, they might optimize the emulator ROM holders. Not ROM holders. The emulator runners, they may be able to smooth that out more for that browser. Be some interesting stuff to see.
But yeah,
ROM holders.
Being able to access all sorts of other different sites, and
content.
even Google Stadia. I mean, for those who care, I mean, the whole thing with Google Stadia was not to buy a console, so accessing it through a console seems kind of funny at this point. But if you can, it might do Stadia some good.
See, it sounds backwards, right? But I'm sure they're like, hey,
if
that's the device you have, and you can turn that on and get to our page, please go play Stadia games.
Do it.
Yeah, make the Stadia. Here's the Stadia store. Here's $10 off this month. I keep getting those, and I'm like,
here's all the pro games you get for free.
I keep getting those emails, and I'm like, I'm not dipping back into this thing. No, thank you. Alright, Nintendo confirms Donkey Kong area for Super Nintendo World. It will open in 2024. This comes from The Verge. Nintendo's confirmed plans to expand Super Nintendo World. This recently opened theme park at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka with a new Donkey Kong area. It looks like a pretty sizable addition. It looks bigger than the damn Mario stuff. Imagery released by Nintendo confirms that as speculated, the DK Zone will be indeed accessed through a large round door that already exists in the park, which is currently almost entirely Mario themed. The Donkey Kong Zone will include a roller coaster, interactive experiences, and themed merchandise and food.
Does it have the DK rap playing over the speakers when you walk through there?
It has to.
It better. Or it's just the old man with the little gramophone, like da 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 da. Yes. And then it kicks into Donkey Kong Country, the full Donkey Kong Country soundtrack.
And all you can buy is like banana chips and banana splits.
Yep.
Banana smoothie.
Banana popsicles.
Plantains.
Also plantains. Anything banana themed.
Plantains for the kids.
Yeah. Banana. Alright.
Frozen bananas.
I guess banana boat sunscreen sold there.
Oh yeah.
What other banana based
things? Brought it home says are all the way through. That's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Diddy does fire a peanut though, so.
Yeah. Alright, so do you have to serve all of there? Are we gonna take in the Donkey Kong 64 lore? You have to serve all their items. Coconuts and oranges.
Yeah.
And peanuts.
Ooh, you could fry up some crocodile. Serve it.
And that would be it would be in Florida if it was here. So
yeah, the King K. Rool nuggets.
King K. Rool nuggets. Now we're talking. Straight from the Kremlin. That's awesome. The new area is planned to open in 2024, at which point it'll be actually possible to travel to Japan, we hope. Yeah, it says hopefully. Nintendo-themed parks are also in the works for the Orlando, Hollywood, and Singapore Universal Studios parks. But those are not up and running yet, right?
No, they're still being built.
I think Orlando's like several years out. Hollywood's got like the Mario Kart thing coming this year, next year. I can't remember what it was.
I think the original Japanese one.
And Singapore is a surprise for me. So I didn't even know Singapore had a Universal Studios park. This is news to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the Japan one, of course, has famously opened mid-pandemic, so it didn't really have the big fanfare and celebration, all that it could justly open with, I'm sure.
Just literally at this point, they just buy another 5 years to get the 40th anniversary and bam.
Yeah.
There you go.
They do Donkey Kong now. What are they doing next? Zelda? Kirby?
What's the most...
Oh, could you imagine a Metroid area?
They haven't even considered Metroid Brand. We all know this. It hurts, but we all know this.
Metroid. Or F-Zero.
Oh, F-Zero area. With bumper cars, F-Zero bumper car.
Yeah.
There'd be so many deaths.
And high speeds. It's not like no F-Zero.
It's high speeds. It's just high speeds blowing up, high speeds crashing, high speeds falling off the track. That's all I know from my F-Zero experience. There's nobody. I've never met anybody as good at F-Zero who can go through the whole game without dying. So. This is what we want to put in our universe.
F-Zero. You think they'll have that on the ride?
I got on the ride.
Somebody's gonna die.
Didn't
No,
die.
it's part of the
Star.
ride. It's okay. They're fine. They're supposed to die like that. It's part of the ride.
Get somebody else in that car. We're losing money.
Get in there. Yeah, we gotta get this line down.
All right.
Stay on the road. Drive straight ahead.
This is our talk this out of an F-Zero ride for our theme park. Zelda's a good bet, but Zelda is universally acknowledged as Mario and Donkey Kong. I think those are your. I guess
they should be.
It would be up there, yeah.
I'm sure, Richard. We just need to hire you, put you in that room when they're deciding, and you'd be like, you just fight to the death for Kid Icarus and Pilot Wings.
The combo's huge.
Yep. We're near the ocean. Let's put Wave Race in there. Let's go, people.
I saw some ice and it reminded me of ice climbers, and we could have sell snow cones that are ice climbers themed.
This is all Richard's plan to get another Pilot Wings game. We're opening a attraction. We gotta have a game for it.
What do you do?
Skip several generations.
Pilot Wings, you can do all kinds of shit because you got planes and parachutes and hang gliders and everything. I haven't played Pilot Wings since that 3DS one though. Do any of those old ones hold up? Can you play 64?
Pilot Wings on the 3DS was really good. I played the shit out of that one.
I got hooked on it for some reason. I think that was my first 3DS game.
Not the bastard version that was on Wii Sports.
Right. Which I didn't know has what did that Wii Sports Resort have? It's got like a wave race type thing. It talked about other dead Nintendo franchises. Wave races up there, and there's like this bastard wave race game in Wii Sports Resort that just it doesn't have the physics or anything. You know, it's just kind of a mini game. Like a Zelda one. All right, one more. We need one more. We got Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda. I think Kirby was a good guess, but is Kirby's up there?
So you're saying at this point we need to decide what it's going to be on a north, south, east, and west campus, basically.
Fox.
We're doing the full
Star Fox.
compass.
Yep, Star Fox. That's pretty good.
Where you always have to do a barrel roll.
Zelda is a good one. Trying to think what would be the fourth one in a Nintendo franchise. I mean, Kirby would have to be it.
Okay. All right, so
I'm trying to think of another big one that can fill that.
Kirby, the new game, takes place as this theme park when everything is gone to shit. So Kirby is actually the secret answer to all of it. I think if you were to look at Nintendo right now, they love Fire Emblem, right? That's like way up in there.
Yeah.
And you could sell body pillows and whatever else people buy that's Fire Emblem related.
What are those called, Brand? Those are like Dakimas or something like that.
It's gonna be a size-handed.
What's it called, Brent? I know you have one. What's it called?
I don't know.
I don't even know the name of it. I'm trying to look it up. Full-size body pillow. I remember those.
Full-size body pillow.
Interchangeable,
with the reversible sides.
Yeah. It's like, is that And was it the Opie mouse pads that everybody tries
Oh
to
gosh.
just have a regular mouse pad? God forbid
Yeah.
my camera falls over during a meeting and they're like, "Oh, what type of mouse pad is
We
that?"
have one of those.
Where it's
Absolutely
yeah.
not. I have a standard one called TechNet.
You have one of the
Real
Louis
mouse pad.
pads.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it one.
Oh no, you're good.
It's like that, but it's either somebody's chest area or it's somebody's
Opie.
posterior.
You mean their spine?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do have.
I'll
They
see
do
the
have
Bowens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says posterior. We just go with Bowens.
Yep.
I don't know what's safe for Twitch anymore.
Oh, is the chat up?
Or we're gonna get a hot top when this.
Somebody
hot
watching the chat? I'm not paying attention.
It's nobody's in there. We're good.
So much
I'm watching.
activity. So, I mean, we actually worked to defeat these questions. They couldn't last. Never really had. Unless somebody be along with us.
I'm trying to remember. This is really bothering me. What is a full-size body pedal?
I love how that's what's bothering you.
It really is. It's like I see it.
They
talked
have
about
them on
so much.
PlayAsia.
I see it talked about so much, and I'm like,
Is there a term you have to add in there? Because body pillows are common.
it's called Daki Makuda.
Dakimakura, which means
Daki to embrace or clean, and Makuda, which means pillow.
all right.
That's why it's a funny word.
I'll accept that. All right, moving on to your games with gold. You have so your 4 titles for Xbox are Aero,
Eh?
it's called Aero, right? Is that Hover? I'm trying to see if I'm reading that right.
Is it,
Yeah.
sure, it's not AA wrong.
Aero. You just have to read it like Toad says.
I can't even do that. I'm trying. It's not even possible. Yeah, I tried, man. Gentlemen, I tried it, but
All
I
right,
just
so
don't
you're
have it
going
in
to
me.
get Aero from October 1st through 31st. You will get Hover from October 16th through November 15th. I haven't heard of either one.
The
I have
vacuum
no
cleaner
idea
company?
what either of those games are.
The vacuum cleaner company or the president? Which one?
Hover, no Hover.
Oh, my
So you
bad.
have Hover from October 16th to November 15th. Okay.
Come on, Brant. This one's
Take
for you,
it, Brant.
Brant. Next one's you. Let's go, Brant. Go!
Yeah. Castlevania Harmony of Despair, which is
Yeah,
like
Brant. You
that's the
brought it back.
multiplayer one.
Are we all
Save
going to try
Castlevania.
this?
There's no way
Are we
they're
gonna
going
try
to
this?
ever again.
Yeah.
Why not? It's free, man. It's free. I already downloaded it. I already claimed it. What are you talking about?
If they could pry us away from Halo Infinite, we might try some Castlevania Harmony of Despair.
Oh, it's not that hard when you get banned.
Yeah.
We need a
We'll
drop
talk about
back.
that later.
Harmony of Despair, step into the shadows of the Hell House to vanquish your old nemesis Dracula with 6-player co-op. Select your fan-favorite vampire hunters from across the entire series to return Dracula to his eternal slumber. And then, I like how they're sort of trending to where the better games we get with Games with Gold are the old school ones, or maybe that's just the way my taste lines up.
Yeah. Because I'm sure some people look at it and like, oh, all these games are trash.
Oh, these games came out before I was born. Fuck these games.
Oh, we're getting to that point, aren't we?
Yep.
I'm disgusted with myself and my community.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
We're old for a
we made
reason.
it. We made it this far. We might as well keep going.
What was the only generation I miss? Shit, I was 83. I missed the television and Atari. I barely touched it. Everything else is like I can probably recall people make fun of me of.
That's true. We are old. The last game, the one I'm mentioning being another old school game, is Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Set 3 months after the destruction of Raccoon City. Whoa, spoilers. Help Claire Redfield travel to Europe to search for the president's daughter. Her missing brother Chris, actually. Infiltrate the Paris laboratory of the Umbrella Corporation and survive the zombie horde that awaits. That is available from October 16th through the 31st, and Castlevania is October 1st through 15th. Wow, so get quick.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Code Veronica X is one of the Resident Evils I haven't beaten, so that's up there with 4. I think I get in there and the tank controls are so tanky, and I'm like, I can't do it.
Isn't Code Veronica one of those ones that it's just like some people just absolutely hate it, and
People loved it when it came out on Dreamcast, and I bought it on Dreamcast. I just missed that opportunity because there's so many other better playing Resident Evil games that I can't go back to it
Is
anymore.
that one that might be prime for this reboot of this era where we got 2 and 3 in that over the shoulder?
It's the only one we don't have a rebuild. They're gonna rebuild 4. Fuck that shit.
We need Code Veronica X, man. Coming to VR. No, there's a separate SKU that Cesar's mentioning.
No.
We might as well touch on the 2 we actually don't know anything about. Arrow, speed through stunning environments, tracing ribbons of light, and fighting epic boss battles, all at an incredibly licensed soundtrack, featuring music from Noisia, Flux Pavilion, KDB, the Prototypes, Neo Signal, and more. Feel the groove and release the energy that lives in the music. I don't need any
of these people.
It's probably Caddy B. Yeah. She's probably Caddy about.
Somebody out there is screaming at the screen like, "Roar!" Renee said he beat Resident Evil Veronica X. I don't believe him, so we're going to continue on.
Dreamcast or PS2?
Absolutely. I'm not reading the chat anymore. I don't believe him.
Ban
all right, let's continue. Ban. If I could ban you from the chat, Renee, I'm doing it now. I'm figuring out a way.
Who's the moderator? Since I'm bringing the moderator.
I don't know, man.
Renee's been responding to people in the chat sometimes.
Call the admin.
He said Veronica X, so that means I don't think he had a PS2. That means he had to beat it on 360 probably. I think he was Xbox last gen.
Did they port?
A couple gens back. Dreamcast. He beat on Dreamcast. Then it wasn't X, Renee. It was just.
Did they post Veronica. Code Veronica to GameCube? Was that one of those ones that came to Cube, like as is? I think so. I think that was one of the ones I had to track down.
I'm trying to remember.
Yes. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was on all those platforms of that era except for Xbox.
I think when you remember when that realtor broke down and we hit up all their stores, that's where I bought every copy of Resident Evil for GameCube. So, and I took it and they put the surfboard wax, the sex wax they put on the disc to get the scratches out. So
it worked. It's there. And then in Hover, in a futuristic 3D open world, join a group of young rebels, the gamers, and fight against oppressing laws while performing incredible tricks and combos. Equipped with high-tech gear allowing for amazing jumps in speed, help the citizenry and find a way to reach the orbital station in Hover. What?
Yep. I don't know. Renee's still talking about beating Code Veronica. Can we ban him? Who's the NOFODcast? So can we stop him from talking about
it? What was he saying about it? Just they beat it or what?
Absolutely not. He said he don't remember. It's been so long. It's a Dreamcast. You show me the save file, then I believe you, motherfucker.
He'll end up in a room. Watch what's gonna happen. All right, and then I'm gonna let somebody else grab our PlayStation Plus titles for the month of October.
Sure. This PlayStation blog. We've got 3 games coming this month. Your PS5 exclusive is Hell Let Loose. It's World War II inspired multiplayer title, splices epic 100-player battles with a unique resource-based RTS inspired metagame. Holy shit, that's a mouthful.
That's about my cover for the Xbox.
When commanders direct the flow of battle and coordinate powerful in-game abilities, they influence the team's march to victory. Team up and tackle enemy combatants online, 50 versus 50. And I lost interest. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Weapons, blah, blah, blah. Vehicles, blah, blah, blah. Equipment. All right. Next one up.
All right. What else? What else? Come on. We have to have some more.
I'm sure somebody would be happy about that. Hell, yeah. I apologize.
It's supposed to not be that bad.
Yeah, with the gotcha mechanic I already see in there.
Yeah.
Correct the flow with in-game abilities.
It's free. It might be worth a try.
Sure. Next one up was the PGA Tour 2K21.
Yeah,
it's going to be on the PS4. This is a big one for Richard. I'm sure Richard's very excited about this since Richard is also a FedEx Cup champ.
Twice.
He'll take on other PGA Tour pros across stunning real-life courses during your very own career that he already has and earn rewards and gear. And then play against your friends or the world's best players on local and online matches. Create your own player, customize your equipment, then build your own clubhouse. Holy shit. Designing and running full seasons and tournaments customized to your rules and requirements. It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll play golf. It's free. Yep. And game that needs no introduction. No, a franchise that needs no introduction. Mortal Kombat X or 10. I don't know. This is the argument that everybody had back in the day. Sure, or X2 or X something. All right, NetherRealm Studios bone-crunching beat-em-up fuses cinematic presentation with an all-new gameplay experience. For the first time in the series' history, every character in its robust roster has a selection of different fighting styles to pick from, offering an expanded range of strategies to take into battle as well as combat against. So, I don't know. It's a Mortal Kombat game. Those are usually good fun.
Yeah, these are solid. Does that PS4 Mortal Kombat 10, does that get you an upgrade to the PS5 one?
That would be 11.
Was the PS5 one, that's right. So it's just going to run in backwards compatibility mode, whatever that adds. Oh god, I forgot there was another Mortal Kombat.
No, I think the one from the last gen on the PS3, the one on the PS3, the one that had Kratos in it, that was the reboot. And then 10 continued the reboot, and then the 11th one is the third one of this whole reboot thing. Where I think that one on the 9 or whatever it was called is the one that retold the story and like it condensed like the first 4 games in like one game format. And somehow Kratos was there. I just remember Kratos being there.
Kratos was there only in the PS3 one. Bought that game from Kmart. That was one of my battles with the Roy guy that was at Kmart. Fucking Roy.
Ooh.
I love those coupons, man. It was such a good deal to keep those coupons rolling. It was awesome.
Then they stopped selling games, and then Kmart stopped existing. So,
hey,
unless you're in Australia, so
I was trying to keep it going. All right, those are your. As we decide in Castlevania, VSSR.
Yeah. It's my alarm when I wake up at night. I'm like, oh no, I'm still.
I didn't fall into a pit. The Medusa head didn't touch me. I didn't fall into a pit.
Oh, that was bad. Like I think before we played Halo the other night, I got a call and woke me up from a nap. You ever had one of those naps? I think I don't remember where I ate something or something like that. I woke up from a nap. I was like, it was like 8 at night, and it's like that part where it's like, this must be like 7 in the morning the next day, and I didn't know where I was at and how I got here and what day it was. It's the best nap I ever had. I was out for an hour, so yeah. I want to go back to that nap. Okay. That's why I'm talking about it. Now I bring back, like, man, I want to go back and do that again. Like I woke up, I was like, I was like all on the couch, just everywhere. That noise was made when I woke up. I was like, let's drool.
Nap is the deepest of all naps.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm freaking out again on OBS. Let's see if I shift my hat.
Oh yeah, you drank the water bottle and it shot up.
Yeah.
It was like, oh god, Richard's above.
Alright, I'll fix it. Let's go to games played, and then I'll let you guys discuss game club games doing. We want to jump into Halo since we've all been playing a shit ton of Halo.
We can.
I don't know, man. Like, how much shit you got to talk about, Brant? We're gonna finish with you. You probably play more than all of us.
I haven't really played that much besides Halo. Like 3 other games, I guess, including Game Club.
Halo's our biggest one, so why don't we finish with Halo?
I did not play Game Club games. Spoilers. I guess to be that point, I'll let you guys go to town on the Game Club game. Any free time I had was put towards Halo. In between yesterday's Halo sessions, waiting for was like 1 to 4, and then 8 to 12. I think were the two sessions because now we're into.
You played non-game
I
club games.
I did. It was a family group effort. Did I talk last week about the kids playing Mario Golf School Tour? Did we talk about it briefly, maybe? Yeah.
Briefly.
So they've been clamoring for that. We've actually done 2 rounds since then. They're getting better. They're starting to figure out like the angle of the wind and how the clubs work and all that kind of stuff. And
they figure out how to get power in Bogey yet.
They're understanding that. They're eating them, and it's splashed up there on that Mario Golf font whenever they get it. So they see triple bogey a lot, but we're getting there.
It wasn't like me when I was a child. Like, I don't understand this fucking game. I don't get it. I keep hitting. I get in the hole. I don't know why. They're yelling at me.
I made it farther, man. No, but they're loving it. And friends of the show, Russell, we wrote him and playing some with us as well. So he enjoyed it as well. We actually completed 9 holes. So last week we played 3 holes just to kind of teach them golf, that sort of thing. And it ended up being I was -1, and the 2 kids were like +15 and +18 or something like that through 3 holes, and then we stopped playing. This go around was 9 holes, and they were only at plus 12 and plus 14 or something like that through 9. So improvement is happening, and they love playing it. So it's just a fun thing with them back and forth. They actually enjoy it when they putt it too hard and it goes like screaming into the hole and then like jumps back out. It's all dramatic as hell with that Mario Golf flair to it. But they're still enjoying that. And then this has been an ongoing thing where they want to play Luigi's Mansion, but they're scared of the ghost. And my brother was here, and he's actually never beat Luigi's Mansion, despite beating the third one cooperatively last year sometime, I think. But we popped in the first Luigi Mansion and made it all the way to, I think his name's Chauncey. It's the first big boss that you fight. It's the baby in the crib. Like, you have to wake him up out of the crib, and then he's bouncing around on the tiles and throwing rocking horses at you. And I guess he's technically the third major ghost you get out of the portrait ghosts that go on the wall. But they seem to enjoy. They didn't play. They seem to enjoy watching that one. So that may be a watching game that we end up doing. So outside of GameCube, that was it for me and some Halo. But we'll loop back around and wrap up with that. So whoever wants to take it next.
Outside of what me and Bernie discussed on the Halo front, and Hellblade front, the only thing I played outside those 2 games this week is I played a little bit more Deathloop. I've completed the first day. As I go through, there's different time periods at different locations throughout the day. I spent way too much time. There's a agenda or a goal to complete that section of that map and to go to the next one. And so I found out there's these little puzzles in the game where you can unlock and get special weapons. And I was like, cool, I got these powered up guns and I'm going through and laying waste to everybody. As I complete the day, not dying, the day starts over and I lose everything. So did all that shit for no reason. Yeah, I just had to remember to do it again the next day. If I go back to that place and decide if I want to do it. So there was one gun that sucked really bad. I'm like, I'm not going to do all that shit for that one gun again. So, but yeah, I'm at the point where the main character Colt's going through and he figures out he's the head of security and he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on because he has no memory still. So, I just started the next day where he hasn't died and he's actually making progress. He's trying to find a device called the LPP so he can break the loop.
Have you talked about Deathloop before?
Which
I
is
knew you were playing it, but I didn't know if you had touched on it. It's just been a week or two.
We skipped a week because we took a week off. So, well, sort of. I didn't play it that week. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So the cool thing about it is as I go through and I find out other vital information, like I'm finding different rooms I don't have access to yet because I don't have the information to them yet. So I know at some point as I go and explore different parts of the island, I'll get whatever the solution is to those rooms, depending on how they interact with those characters, and they'll be easier to fight the bosses. I know progressing the story-wise, I had to go back to my office to get the LP device in my safe. And so I learned the password, and it was already gone at the end of that day. But when the day started over, I'm going back there to get it now before Juliana, the one I'm fighting who's trying to protect the loop, stole it from me. So there's a lot of cool stuff like that. I got a soft spot for like time-based movies, books, games. And this really it goes up that alley. I just never really played. It's not like a roguelike type game like Brent plays a lot of, but it has some of those elements in there, and I think it's enough where it doesn't irritate me to quit because I'm still kind of pissed about. Oh God, it was a really good fucking gun, man. It fucking combined and it turned to like this machine gun, and it was like 2 separate pistols, and I was like, I did so much shit to get that gun, and I don't have it anymore, man. I almost got off the computer. I almost got off the PS5 and started crying. I was like, it was bad.
From what I hear, you eventually unlock something that lets you keep some equipment, including guns, a little later on. So
yeah, because as Brent mentioned, you get trinkets that kind of let you break the system. So like one of the trinkets it gives you in the beginning of the game is that you can die twice. So once you die once, it doesn't erase your progress. You get one more go, which is funny because like your ghost spectral body that looks like it's coming from the rainbow thing from Thor is like your body's like stuck there. I can see my dead body there, and I'm like, oh, that's where I died, and I can't get anything back. I'm just dead there. So outside of that, I put a couple hours of that. Played a couple hours of that. I did fire up Kenna this week and probably put about 3 or 4 hours into it. your young ones will probably really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. It might be something they you might want to get.
How is that?
Entertain getting at full price or just renting it or something like that. I went ahead and bought a digital copy. I think the physical one comes out next month.
Yeah.
I think they'll enjoy it a lot. It's graphically it looks very good. It probably reminiscent of like any Disney-esque 3D Pixar-esque film. It plays. I didn't play much of Star Fox Adventures, but it does remind me of that.
I pre-ordered that one when it went up, so I'm getting that one.
I was asleep in half of that, but doing real work, healing my body from all the running I was doing. The way that the game is tailored is that it's similar to like not Deathloop, but it's similar to
you beat Star Fox Adventure.
Tales of Arise, where like all the attack buttons are on like the right hand side of the controller, and that's why it wasn't that bad for me. It's like I think R1 is like a light attack, and then you can hold R2 to do a deeper attack with your staff, and then that's where you feel the feedback. And the feedback's not tough for like some games where that really fights you. So it's like, I guess they made that in mind for kids. That way it's not sitting there like, I can't press the controller down. You know what I mean? You get some feedback to it, and you can feel some tug to it. But if you hold it in and let go, it does a charging attack to do it in there. So I won't go too much into the story for you guys, since I know y'all play it. But I mean, essentially, it goes into this game where you're kind of like a type of spirit guy type of person. You're traveling on a quest to a mountain shrine, and you run into somebody who is a spirit that's no longer there, but he's kind of like corrupt. You don't know his reasoning why, and he's like corrupting certain areas of this area. So you run into these characters where they call like rot, like these little rot animals. I think they call them rot, but it's like they look like little something from like a Studio Ghibli film or something like that. So that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, it looks like that, or Spirited Away. You know, like the ones that carried the cigarettes to the old man. But I'll never forget that scene. But the one that's always burning something. It has like the spider arms. But that was a good rendition of it.
I'll say the Howl's Moving Castle, the sub monster.
So outside of that, I go up to a flower and they set up these little wooden monsters to fight me, which all reminds me of like miniature versions of Groot, with different weapons as they come at me. And it's not easy, man. I'm playing on easy, and it's I'm getting my ass kicked. So certain areas. So some of it does require.
I was there. We lived it with you.
Some patience, and you can't just go in there and just start doing shit. So I mean, it gives you like the ability to roll, and you have L1 does your shield, and you do like an L1 to do like a pulse to awaken any nearby crystals. And then as you go through the game, it sets up the story, and it's like very linear, and then it opens up to an open world. Where like you have a village, and then you're trying to get to this mountain shrine in the mountains, and then as you go into this open world, sections of it are sealed off, and you can only access them. And so you run into this spirit who, I guess, these spirits that are running around, and you get the idea that they've already passed, and so they haven't moved on to the next world yet, and that's what she's there for, to help them move on. And so she runs into an old man into like the cemetery, and they make this thing where as somebody dies, they make a wooden mask and they leave it up. And if they properly pass on, the mask just disintegrates to dust and disappears, but they haven't fully moved on, the mask stays behind. And so there's one you have to save. I just started the first boy. There's these two little young kids that are running around that are spirits, and they want you to save their brother Taro. He's like trapped somewhere in the mountain. So like the old man gives you Taro's mask, and the mask looks like a fox. It looks like the one from Demon Slayer. And so you put it on, and it kind of shows you it's like a key where it unlocks certain areas, and it shows you where to go, and you can see what happened to him. And it's starting to get darker, man. Because like he told us like take the brother. He's like take his siblings with you, and I don't think they'll understand what happened to him. You have to explain it to him. And so like you get the same where he got trapped, and it looks like he perished under like a bunch of rocks, and his spirit is like dispersed. So you're trying to reunite his spirit. So
what a good concept.
So that's where I stopped at. But it's pretty good, man. Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is like I wouldn't be surprised if like Microsoft saw this and they bought this company and just put them in rare. This is like a rare ass game, man. It's like stuff like that catalog they have, and get a proper studio that can handle a good IP.
That's deep.
This would be somebody they would really need to get. It's done very well. So yeah. But yeah, I played that, and that was pretty good. Kina. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I want to add to it.
Yeah.
No, I'll leave some of that stuff hidden because I know you guys are gonna play it, and that way you can get some surprises. And I'm not gonna go too much into the story, but that's kind of like how it starts out. I haven't gotten too much in
is Kina or Kona
region yet, and I'll leave it at that.
Kina, Bridge of Spirits.
Outside of that, I'll go ahead and I'll kick off the Game Club Game of the Month that was resurrected. I'll kick it and I'll head it off to Brant because I'm sure Brant did more damage to his than I did.
Right.
I played maybe about halfway through Hellblade on PS4 as it gives me the notification that this may not run properly on my PS5 every time I fire it up. I'm like, cool. I don't know. I fired it up on the Switch. I fired it up on the Xbox also. I can tell you the difference is that and I fired it up on the PC. I can tell you the difference is that the Xbox has better environmental physics. I thought that the character models will look better, but it's better, but not that much better than the PS4. I think it's just because it's an early game from that gen. So I think they will have to go through, and it's using Unreal Engine 4, probably the early one. So nothing wrong. The game looks good. It just,
Damn.
So, you play as a woman a young woman named Senua. She's rowing in the boat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass this over to you in a moment, Brant, because you got further than me.
I played it
she's rowing through a boat, and you see this head tied behind her.
And it supported ultra wide and everything.
And you have somebody who's doing this introduction to the story. That's kind of like, oh, there you are. I didn't see you were there. But basically, you wouldn't hear anything from this protagonist that this voice was going to give you everything you need. So as you go through and it's kind of explaining the situation, she's traveling to she's trying to see Hela. What was the name of that realm, the Norse realm?
Helheim.
Helheim. Yeah, there we go. So she's trying to get to Helheim to rescue Dylan. And it gives you breadcrumbs in the story in the very beginning. That's what I think makes it difficult. I don't think it got really interesting for me until maybe the 25% of the way through. And then it finally started grabbing a hold of me. As you go through, you're going through this like Norse mythology. You run through this area that's similar to there's dead bodies hanging everywhere. I mean, it's vast, and you're basically the only person there. So, and she's recalling these conversations she had with a gentleman called, was it Druth? I believe is his name.
There you are. Yeah, Druth. I couldn't remember his name for a second.
And also you'll find these little stands with relics, and you hit them, and they go into different story bits of Norse mythology and how they pertain to her as she goes through that story. So as you're going through, she's making her way, and she ends up finding the door to supposedly to Helheim. And it's sealed behind. It's got two seals on there. One for, what was it, the Sutor, the fire giant. Mm-hmm. And then was it Valdivir, the crow, the one with the mirages?
The god of illusion or whatever.
Illusion, right. And I guess these are ones that are hand-picked generals from Hela. I guess that's the story behind it. So as you go through, I chose Satyr as the first one, but before all that, you get into a battle, and they kind of introduce you to the battle system where you have a melee or a light attack, a heavy attack, a melee which is a kick.
And a guard.
Mm-hmm. Which I never use. I still don't use.
And guard/parry, because if you guard at the right time, you can parry the enemy's attack.
I think if you hit two buttons, you do a stab. If you do different button combinations for different attacks, it seems simple, but it's pretty deep. And then you have, R2 to focus, which kind of does a bullet time for a little bit, where you can run up and makes you God mode. You're slashing, and it gives them half double the damage or something like that. I noticed that. So it does an introduction in the beginning. You fight these random enemies, and then you have to choose a door. So I did Surtor as the first one, and as you go through, they kind of Druth as you go through the runes, kind of explains this history behind these different gods, and
nice.
As you go through to unlock them, and you have to fight them at the end. So I did that one, and you go over and do the crow base one with the mirages, and that kind of what changes up the gameplay, because as you go through, you have to find runes on certain doors, and those can take various shapes, or on different areas, or on walls, or whatever. And I think what the mirage one is the one where you can go through these little gates where you can kind of look and change your view, and then walk through the gates to create what you saw, basically, right? If I got that correct, Brant.
Yeah.
So as you go through and you beat them, you unlock the door to Hela, and as you go through, and it's that long bridge you see at the beginning, and you go through, and you still, as you go through that bridge, you're still getting bits and pieces of the story, and it gives you more and more like what's like Suana, was it Sasuna? I can't say that name for whatever reason.
What? Senua?
Sasuna, yeah. So as you go through that bridge, you get more and more of her, huh?
Setsuna? Yeah.
That's why my mind goes to that one too. It's Setsuna, not Satsuna. Setsuna. Ah, fuck. Whatever. So as you go through the bridge, you go through, and I think I've ran into the first encounter of Hela where I lose. My sword is broken.
Yeah.
Senna was sacrificed.
I wake up on to the beach, and you see like an image of Dylan, and she starts reminiscing like the first time she met him. Different aspects of her life, her mother, as she goes through her mother, used to have the same sickness as her, what they call the darkness. She used to be a priestess, and it took her life. And as I go through, I'm trying to reclaim a sword, and I think it was a sword that was, they go through a story what the sword, I forgot what the name of the gentleman was, but it was like, it starts with an S, or like, he goes through where he's, his wife's sister and all that stuff like that, and was trying to kill him and all that. It's weird. It's very like that, very mythological, like Greek mythology type story backgrounds where somebody's trying to get revenge on somebody type shenanigans.
It was like the gentleman had the sword and he was the only one that could use it. Kind of Excalibur. Excalibur kind of thing. And then
like Tymir, was it called? Was it no, Tymir was the one with the berserker. Yeah. The berserker died with Tymir. I forgot the other sword on there. So yeah.
The guy stole it, and this king stole it, and then they had this whole plan to get it back and kill him. And
it got weird. Like the sister slept with her brother because she turned into a sorceress to produce an heir to beat down her own brother, and it was
Norse mythology gets
legit
weird.
Norse mythology. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good, man. It's pretty interesting because as you go through Druth, you find out that he's not even like a Northman. You saw that he captured and he learned their history and everything. And he was teaching it to her. So, but yeah, as you go through, I think the part I stopped is the story of the berserker with Tamir, where if you use the sword, what was it? You died and the king died, or something like that. Like the sword was always supposed to stay sheathed. It was like a curse from the dwarves. And if you use the sword, you died. And so apparently this berserker had died, and like his daughter's trying to get the sword back. And so it's like they use that as an analogy to tell like Tasuna's story with like her interactions with her father and how he was trying to keep her in their home because she has a darkness to her, and it's a lot of mental like psychosis and mental disabilities as well. I mean, this is like dealing with that time. I guess at that time it was just like you kept that person home and protected them. Yeah. So that way, they didn't break. So, and she meets Dylan. Dylan's the guy who's doing these warrior trials, and he's invited her because she mimicked what he was doing, and he observed, and she was able to do it, and he was impressed by it. He's like, why don't you become a warrior? And so I think he was the first person that treated her like a real person, and so she like threw herself into like doing what he wanted to do. And this is the person she's trying to bring back. So, the part I stopped, Brent, and then you can take it from here. I was going after that, the one with the berserker's daughter. I went into the next area, where it goes over to the trials where they were talking about doing the warrior trials. It was like death and everywhere. She was trying to convince them not to go any further or something like that because she hated the smell of the rot.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. I'll pass it on to Brent. Outside, I forgot to mention that I think you get affected by the rot from Hela, supposedly, in your right hand. And if you die, it grows up to your head. And once it grows up to your head, you're dead. It's done. You have to start the game.
The game resets. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brent, the ball's in your court. Finish it.
So, like Cesar was saying, this game focuses on like psychosis, and the one of the main aspects is that Senua is constantly hearing these voices, and it's the mix of fear and doubt and uncertainty, and she's constantly hearing them. And plus there's like the main voice, which is like the main darkness, which is this deep growling voice that she'll hear from time to time. That's kind of her main protagonist, our main antagonist throughout the thing. And it does, yeah. That was probably the best experience. And I mean, the game really goes into more of the relationship with her father and her troubled past.
They say play with headphones. Did you play with headphones so that
things
you
that
could hear
her
that?
father did because she was told that her mother didn't get taken by the darkness and that she was fine at the end, and it turns out that she was still hearing those voices and everything, and her father wound up killing her for it, for not like leaving it alone. And so in the part of the game Cesar was at, we talked about, at this point in the game your sword is broken, so you can no longer do combat. You learn about this mythical sword, the sword named Grant, which was taken, stolen, get it back, and then the owner winds up dying at Odin's hand, and the sword is shattered, and his son gathers the pieces and reforges it. So now you go through these trials to reforge the sword and claim it, and it's supposed to be the sword to kill a god. And so these giant pillars of metal you go up to, and it reflects Sinuous face, and it goes into a part of her history, and it's a dark part. It's something she feared, something that was not a good memory.
Sounds awesome.
And so you wind up fighting through all these different things, and most of them had to do with Druth, who she's trying to save, or her father, who constantly put her down, put that doubt in her head, kept her inside, away from everybody, told her that she was sick, told her that she was no good, told her that she couldn't do anything. So you wind up getting all that and reforging your sword, going through all these different trials, and eventually you get to a point where you have to go through this dark area, and anytime you're in the darkness, you're being stalked by some beast, and you have to run and try and get into a lit area, and eventually you can get a torch and walk around with it. But of course, being the game that it is, I found that the biggest highlight of this game was the story and the lore. For the most part, the game is very samey. It's very you get into an area, do the same kind of combat over and over against the same enemies. Every now and then they throw a new stronger enemy in there. And then it's walk around and try and you find the door that has the runes on it, and then you walk around trying to find the runes in the area you're in to unlock that door. And it's the same kind of puzzles over and over. But every way that you go into these, is you're not solving them the same way. You kind of know from doing them before what to look for, and so you're in this dark area, and there will be areas that you've got to go in, where there's a waterfall, and so of course your torch is going to go out, and you've got to run and relight it and do all this, and eventually that goes into, once you find all those runes, you open the door, and it was a trap. Your torch gets blown out. You've got to run again. And you're being chased by this giant behemoth, this beast. Which you wind up getting away, but when you get away, you drop Dillian's head. She's carrying Dillian's head around with her. And she drops it into this giant pit. So she knows that in order to save him, she's got to
beast
go
thing again.
back down into the pit where the beast is and reclaim this head. So you go down there, you wind up having that's another one of the boss fights. That's really it. There's the two that Cesar was talking about in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
There's some fights you have intermittently throughout the story, and then there's this fight. These are the main boss fights.
Graphic.
Yeah.
With some battles mixed in between. So
yeah.
I mean, the battles are not difficult. I mean, they're not difficult. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they really aren't that bad.
If you play on easy, you can experience the story. I mean, you can do an auto where it auto adjusts your difficulty if you want. Or if you get really good, they'll increase the difficulty, and if you suck really bad, then they'll drop it automatically for you. So
the most annoying part, and I never turned it off, just because I know it's part of the experience, is when you're sitting there trying to figure out a puzzle, and all the voices that are talking or that are in Senua's head are always talking. So you're walking around, you're trying to figure out this puzzle, and they're like, she's never going to figure this out. She won't do this. She can't do this. She better turn around. She better do. And it's like, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Shut up. You know, like it can get annoying. There was a few times. Yeah.
They'll give you certain indications, and then when you try to find a rune or something like that, where you can get on the right spot, you'll see like in your field of vision (FOV), you'll see that symbol flying around, and that means you gotta look for it. So.
But yeah, there were a few times I had to just, I don't know about you, Cesar, I had to like turn the voices down for a second while I like stood there and like surveyed, because like actually trying to look and somebody in my ear just going, you're not going to do this, you can't do this, oh, you're not going to find this, where is it, oh, she's not going to see this, and like,
I'm already used to that.
Shut up bother me.
There's what I'm trying to say. I learn to tune certain things out, so I'm just like, I just go into the tinnitus in my ears and just go like, oh, I'm just gonna listen to the ringing in my ears. Let's go.
But eventually you finally
my line of work.
Get back on track. You find your way to the main darkness, to Hela. And by the end, you don't know if it's really Hela or if it's just all insidious. And you fight the same enemies over and over in this never-ending horde, while Hela just stands in the middle and watches you. And eventually, you can get downed several times and get back up, but every time you get downed, the voices just say, it's okay, you can give up now, it's okay, you've done enough. And I'd never took that hint until much later, and then I finally got downed and it was done. I was like, oh, I obviously was supposed to die, because they never stopped. They just never ever stopped. And
it was like the ending in God of War 3 where you can just keep punching Zeus forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, when does this game end? You're just in there punching until the screen turns red. It's like, when does this game end?
Yeah.
It ends when you stop.
It ends when you stop. But
Brad's 8 hours into this horde mode.
Hela grabs the sword from you and stabs you, but then it goes into this whole thing about, actually letting Dillian go, and then it kind of zooms around and pans differently, and then you see Senua dropping the head off of a cliff. So it's very open-ended and very just like it's a very psychological game, and it definitely merits a playthrough. I am one trophy short because those things, those pillars you would find that have Druth's like have a rune on them, and Druth talks to you through them and tells you a story. I missed like 6 of those or 7 of those, and I think that's a trophy. And I was about to say, unfortunately, that is one thing I didn't like, is I realized I'd missed a couple, and I tried to go back in one area, like in the very beginning of the game, and after you've gone through and beat certain things, you can't go back. Certain areas get blocked back off.
Can you go back in there?
So,
we call those the Pillars of Autumn. That's what we call them.
Pillars of Autumn.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And yeah, I was going to say, and you've played it a little bit of it before, so.
Pillars of Autumn. So that's what I was trying to segue.
I'm about to say we'll do better.
Yeah, what's this month? What's this month?
Good job on Game Club, guys.
We'll have to talk about it.
Let's do one we know we won't play. Let's make it Bloodborne month.
It was at my previous place of residence.
I'm done for the month, gentlemen. I have all the free time in the world.
Beat Bloodborne.
Game Club banner this month.
Yeah, that's true.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
7 days.
Bloodborne run.
I don't know.
Your miles may vary, I guess. However,
we're all playing the new Metroid. We could do a spoiler cast type thing at the end of
and really, other than that,
a month for Metroid.
Other than Game Club,
unless you think you'll burn it up.
I've been playing the usual. Some Pokemon Unite.
Have they said how long it is?
A few days a week with the family. Oh yeah.
Okay.
They added another character this past week, another defender, and I think they're adding somebody else this coming week.
Much.
So it's already in there. Blastoise is already in there.
Charizard.
He's already in there. Nope, not in there.
Still enjoying it?
I'm about to say probably none of the ones you guys know. They added.
I'm looking.
Oh gosh, I wish.
Why? Why would you? What would he do? What would he do?
Fast
I don't never
eat
play
chili
games.
dogs.
Runs around. What would he do? Would we all speed, no power, no defense? What would he do?
He'd just run around. That's all he has to do.
He has no defense. He's just running. Unless it's like capture the zone or something in that game. That's the only thing you can do with him.
And then I've still been in Castlevania Advanced Collection. Still playing
his defense. He has spines on his back.
I think it's on by default because I went in and it was already on.
Him up out of danger.
I noticed that
it is on by default. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded a little bit better. And when you said that, I'm like, okay, I'll double check. But yeah, it's on by default. Still playing Circle of the Moon.
Did you turn on that music setting?
Thank God for the rewind feature and save states and stuff like that.
Sounds good.
Because some of those boss battles, I just fought like these 2 zombie dragons, and like you basically kind of have to stand in between them. Because they're on the ground of the area you're in, and there's just like a little bit of space in between them where they're standing, and then there's platforms up above them. And
modern gaming.
They're so close together, so it's really really hard to fight them together. And those are really.
It's the only one I played was Circle of the Moon. I'm playing the other ones.
Yeah, I just figured I'd do them in order how they had them on there and just start playing, at least until this Friday, you know. Then Metroid.
I've never played Circle of the Moon.
That's the only one of those game
modes I haven't played. Is that the one to start with? Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah.
Until somebody comes in the chat and yells at me and says the better one, and it's a whole another Aladdin argument all over again.
Yep. Metroid time.
Sure, somebody's out there doing it. Like, fuck you.
Oh. It is the bastard version of Rondo of Blood.
Ooh.
I'm sure they're coming arguments like, I pre-ordered it in Toys R Us, bitch. What now? Regular price.
I don't think anybody's willing to take up that argument. You know what it'll be? It's somebody that paid $300 for a copy of a Super Nintendo game, and they have to validate their $300.
Then they gave us the real one. Remember the Japanese one for later.
It's weird. I'm glad it's there because I don't think it's ever been out on anything else. So it's a curiosity if nothing else.
Yeah,
or
I was saying, other than that, I've been
it was on the Wii,
with you guys playing some
console.
damn Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yep, that's what it's still on the front page of my Wii. It's right there. It's like that immediately validates the Wii as a system. Rondo of blood. All right, is that all your games played, Brant?
On it.
Halo Infinite. The game is good. Alright, so I had played a little bit of the previous tech test, and then Brant last weekend was saying it's got those Halo bones. So I was like, alright, let's go. And they opened up Big Team Battle. So there was a bunch of us in there. It was a bunch of us that get together for my Halo LAN parties and people we play online with. And I think we played a little bit of 4v4 today, but mostly the whole weekend we've been doing Big Team Battle. So it's either Stronghold, Slayer, or Capture the Flag. And this is a good game. This is a very special game. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to keep playing it.
Yeah.
The hour windows are annoying to me. Like, here, you can only do this from 1 to 4.
It doesn't give us a connection found one. I'd rather just have a connection found. Okay.
But
not connection loss.
I hate being like
cut we've all had
we try to load another
fun
game
little
after the window's
things
over.
where
like,
I mean, and it's expected in
and
this little beta thing where
it stops us from going
you get
in.
the
Not
game
boots
crashes
us.
completely or you get booted from a match. The
Brand
annoying
has actually
thing
been
is
booted
that
from the
they
game.
still have bans in effect.
Penalize you.
Yeah. If you leave 3 matches in a row, or technically if you get booted from 3 matches, you get a 15-minute ban. And that happened to all of us the other night, where all of us at different times, and then at the same time we're all banned.
Yeah. And I had a round where I was the fire team leader, so, you boot into the lobby. We've all played multiplayer shooters. You boot into the lobby, you can see your version of the Blaster Schleif, which I got to share with all of y'all this weekend, which was very exciting. And I was the fire team leader, so it's groups of 4, and it was big team battle, so it's just going to be, 4 of us, but it'll tell you 5 out of 12 or 6 out of 12. It'll tell you how many people you have in your party. It just won't show all of their Blaster
We had some
Schleifs.
good games. We
go launch
like
big team
that
battle,
last
and
week
we go through the
where we
normal
just
loading
completely
screen and all
shut
that kind of
out
stuff.
at
And
the
I'm
end of
looking at the menu, I'm like, what the
night.
hell? And you guys are playing, I was the fire team leader, and I just got dropped from it, I didn't load into the game. Like, how does this happen? But you guys played that one out pretty good.
No.
It's fun, man. God, it's so much fun. We had some great games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we didn't talk about that one on the...
Yeah.
Yep, we played a Strongholds match, and none of us are great Halo players. I spent a lot of time playing Halo. I wouldn't even say I'm a good Halo player, to be honest. And we ran this team after, I think we lost it 2 rounds before that. But in Strongholds, you have to have 2 of the points to... That wasn't Strongholds, that was that was the zone one that kept adding up. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that mode.
That last, Brand, you weren't on
I
with
guess the
us
goal
on
is to
this
get
one earlier,
200,
but
and
that last
somehow
one we pretty much won every game.
And I and some rando, we shut them
think we
out.
lost
Like,
the first
every
one.
time they went to take one of these zones, somebody was there and took them out. We shut them out. They never scored a single point. We beat 200 up, and that was a rush, man.
I'll say we can. I have no problems getting on. This is it. This is the last day.
Yeah. We did 4v4.
No. I hope that there's something like
Slayer
maybe
round,
toward the
and
end
we
of this
were
month
on
or beginning of
Capture
next
the
month.
Flag on that
But
desert
who
map.
knows?
Are y'all getting on for some of the 8 to 12 one at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down.
Test for
I got a little bit of chores to do, but I can get on. This is it. And do we know if there's going to be any more? They haven't really announced anything, right? Everybody on Twitter is like, It'd be cool if they just said, hey, it's going to stay on. Don't worry about it. Keep testing. That'd be awesome. There was a game we played last night where we were really pushing for, it was capture the flag, and a bunch of us were in a warhog. There was somebody behind us in a mongoose. Somebody had gotten ahead of the pack and was trying to clear out some people. And we felt like we had a good push, and we pick up the flag, and we're doing all this, and they just all converged on us, and we got wiped out.
I thought
was like,
strictly killed
that
most
feels
of my
like
people with
Halo.
battle rifle.
You
That
put
was
this
just
good
terrible for
rally
me.
together, and you're about to capture the flag or complete some objective, and they swarm you and take you out. That feels like Halo. But I love that. That map is so much fun. The weapons are so-so. I've been kind of leaning on the battle rifle. Yeah. It's telling when they start you off in the base. So a cool thing, I don't think we've touched on like the UI and stuff of the game, but the weapons have cooldowns on them on the spawn.
Everybody
points.
goes for it.
So power weapons, your AI guy will let you know.
You
or
cursed
gal
my name a couple
will let
times.
you know when they're going to go live. But like the standard issue weapons that are just around on the map, if somebody grabs one, you'll see a cooldown timer start, and then it'll respawn that weapon. So like the battle rifle is one of those. And on that point, I think it's telling that when everybody starts off at the base, everyone is running to that battle rifle.
When you do your initial zoom, it doesn't
Yeah,
seem to
there's been
be
so many
zoomed
times
in
I'm holding
exactly
X
where
as
you
I'm
mark
running up to it, and
I
then it
could be
vanishes,
like
and I'm running right
dead
by it
on
and
my
holding X with no
reticle,
reason.
right on a
I
person,
got a
and
couple
zoom
sniper
in, and
kills
it's
earlier
like
today.
off to the left.
I'm starting to
on
come
a
around on
tree
the
now,
sniper rifle a little bit. The thing is,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a Halo thing, but like when you're zoomed in and you get hit, if somebody's you're in a firefight with somebody and you start to get hit a little bit, it drops that zoom down immediately. And me, I have to be zoomed in on sniper rifle. I'm useless.
Or whatever it's called.
It's like, oh god, here we go. I'm gonna get taken out, and I had a freaking power weapon up here. Any other? The zones one is a lot. I think that one is my favorite. The what are we calling the zones one? What is it called?
I don't get the spawn. It's like sometimes I'll spawn next to it, and then sometimes I'll spawn way in the back. Majority of the time I spawn way in the back. Yeah, and like there's sometimes I'll spawn like right next to it. Like, oh, I never knew this was possible.
And sometimes it can be really close to each other, so that makes it tense. It'll be like a hallway and then a little mountain area right outside of it. You'll have to cover one and go to the next. Yep. Same. That's the only time in the moment-to-moment gaming moments where it's not fun is where you're trying to get to one of the objectives. But I do understand, if you're battling it out for like B or C or whatever, they can't spawn you right there, and then you're just, even though it seems like they do that to us,
I'm not
they can't
gonna
spawn you
lie.
right on top of the
I've come
fight.
around to the grapple hook up, right? I was telling that to in the last game, but I'm going around the map like fucking Attack on Titan. I'm
Some people are doing cool stuff.
I'm turning corners and shit. I'm like, this grapple hook's actually pretty good. It saved me many times. Like, I'm just grabbing at different areas and it's just pulling me, turning me along. And I'm just like, yeah, I like this grapple hook, man.
Yeah, it could definitely use it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely useful in a lot of different areas.
Yeah. You just gotta learn like
you did that with that Apex character too.
So I'm zooming along as I'm turning. So I'm just running around a corner and hugging the corner, and then I zoom along and keep turning around the corner.
I've had it, but
in a straight line, you can
use it. I've shot it at walls and stuff, but it's bailed some people out. And I was
more excited
getting their ass, and they just shot off and went off in the distance. There's no way we're them out of whatever the firefight was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done better in these games than I have on MCC, so yeah, I call shenanigans.
Yeah. These are the real players, right? The real Halo people are testing this, right? I know, and I was saying this to somebody else, but I know it's a
the
good
ghost
game
is broken though.
Because you're famously, we have 179 something episodes. You're always down for Halo, or capture the flag, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not something you're going to seek out. but you have been down for.
How do y'all feel about the
sessions.
amount of power
So I think that speaks
weapons
volumes.
like out at a time? I
It's
find that
approachable, it's
sometimes
deep, it's
annoying if
fun.
like they come rushing in and somebody's
I
got
want to be
like
playing it now.
It's annoying with rockets.
It's way
sniper with a
overpowered.
hammer,
But it's a
and
complete rush when
rockets.
you jump in that vehicle and take
You
them
weren't
out
on this
and
capture
kill
the
them
flag
with
we
it.
were on
God,
earlier
that's so
today,
much
where
fun.
we had the one we lost, where
Oh,
they had the
Mongoose
flag
is
guy who
good.
carry it, and there was like 2 Hammer brothers behind him. There's 2 of them. As I know, every time I try to run up to him, I was getting hammered. It's like no, because there's 2 of them. I was like, there's nothing I could do.
There should
I was
be
like-
like one hammer on the map,
Yeah.
you know?
I was like, how did he even get 2? How did that even
Rockets.
happen? I just said at that point, I was like, whatever. I guess we lost the match. I'm like, there's no way. There was legit Hammer brothers in that round.
He had an escort.
I think Russell. By the time Russell killed one of them, I think the match was over. He's like, I got one of them, and they had captured it the 3rd time, so it was too late. So
Yeah. Brand, they basically ran us. They went across the lifts and just had the Hammer Brother escorts and just ran the flag 3 times. I think it was over
Most
in
of
like
them.
5 or 6
Whether
minutes,
it's
maybe.
the sniper rifle or the javelin or it's that other one, it's not a plasma rifle, lightning rifle or something like that. It's
I do like, speaking on power weapons, like if somebody's got you in their sniper scope or something, you can see the glint
close
of
for me
that
to actually
sniper coming at you where you're not
you have to be
totally
further
caught
back,
off
but I
guard.
did I did shoot somebody with a no scope, and it gave me a no scope points on there. So, that was pretty satisfying, and I knew that was never going to happen again. But I just went in with it. It's like no scope. I was like, all right, cool.
That sideways beam thing.
I aimed at the right spot and got him. Dead center. Yeah. So. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, I just on that battle pass thing. I'm like, I just hit level 15.
Was it just like self-defense? You just like pulled the trigger on somebody?
I just hit halfway finally. So
perfect.
Yeah, and that's cool that we're all messing around with the battle pass and being able to see what the customizations for the weapons and the vehicles and choose colors and stuff on the armor. Like you said, you changed the green, so we've dubbed that the Blaster Spleef. Yeah. Blaster Spleef instead of Master Chief.
Yeah. Now I actually I rode with the real Master Chief. He's on there. It was
close,
John.
But it's not quite the same thing. If he ran past you, you'd be like,
he was there. He was there. I was right. Yeah, he was in the match.
Yeah, you guys have cool armor. Cesar rocked in purple. He had a yellow get up at some point, looked like Bumblebee. Then he had now he's got a royal purple color.
Mm-hmm.
John 117. You did. Yep. Yeah, Dale's playing with us. Friend of the show, Dale. Friend of the show, Jeremy. Is there anybody? Friend of the show, Russell. Oh, speaking of which, Russell and I were playing last night. I've got the side-by-side TVs, and I've got a Series X, and then that plasma next to me has a 1X. So I was looking at how it ran. It wasn't as smooth, but it was still like
that's streaming options coming out to those
playable version of this.
So I think
I would want to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the only way to do
it. Yeah,
and just see how that. I don't think there'd be any going back to that, but it does scale at least to the 1X. You know, it was intended to come out on that.
Hey, yeah.
A year or so ago. Yes.
I made sure the 120 frames per second was enabled on my console, so
I'm
getting all the bullshit that I need to win. So
hardware, console for a shooter that's based on timing and stuff like that. Unless they have it figured out, they might have that rollback code so crazy that there's like no noticeable difference.
Yeah.
Again.
I hope.
They're going
to have another test and do it over Thanksgiving. Everybody canceled Thanksgiving.
But they added that to
don't do it anymore.
Apple TVs as well.
Cancel Witcher time and Taylor time.
December 8th. Well, we're only 2 months out at this point, right? That's not bad. Maybe one more test. Maybe they give us one more little preview. It's going to be hard to not have access to this.
Is that how you get it?
Yep.
You have to pre-order to get the beta.
Or like after winter time. It's always
What's
winter
happening on the
time.
7th and 8th? Oh,
Got
the rest of the
Battlefield
weekend.
next weekend. We want to do the same thing with
The
Battlefield.
9th
and
and
try
the
it out.
10th for everybody else. I
I'm
don't know,
intrigued
man.
by Battlefield. I'm not paying for the pre-order early access thing, but I'll try the. Nope. Like the 7th and the 8th is the pre-order ones, and then the rest
me
of
and
the
you played
weekend is
some
the
Donkey
peons
Kong
like us.
Country at one point, but
Yeah. It's like
yeah, this
it's
was
like Thursday,
everybody.
Friday.
Yeah, this is
Yep.
better than not to drive home at 2 in the morning. So
Halo Infinite's good. I'm glad y'all like it, Brett. You were right. You talked us
Turn it off
into
and
it.
you're already at home.
This is the first time we've all played something together as a podcast, too, right? Yeah. We did do Donkey Kong Country, but this was all three of us.
who me? No, you say that.
Buy those body pillows. That's what I was looking
Yeah.
up.
Oh, I forgot. I already forgot. Like, was it?
Forgot
was
it.
Doc?
Yep.
It was Doc.
That's the
Docky.
7 o'clock. All right. You got anything else we want to
Get
add?
up.
Daki Makuda.
That's it. Watch more anime, Sessor. Play more
That
Halo
shows that I
Infinite.
don't even have one because I have to sit there and like, what is it? I just thought it was a funny word. So Daki Makuda.
What's the term?
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.